How you doing? Luques Curtis here, bass instructor over here at the Litchfield Jazz Camp, and having a blast this week. Wanted to share with the viewers a couple of tips on learning some Latin music. The first thing I did when I started learning this music was listen to the music, and a lot of things I did was pick up these bass lines. As I was growing up, these bass lines kind of stuck out, and I kind of started transcribing them, putting them to the side, and just so I could use them whenever I felt the urge to. And they work over a lot of different chord changes, a lot of different progressions. But the main ones that stood out to me, I use still to this day, or when I compose bass lines, or when I play some songs. So I'm gonna go through my favorite ones. They're in no particular order. They're just some that stick out to me and that I love to play. So the first bass line that I want to talk about is a bass line from one of my favorite bassists named Andy Gonzalez. It's probably the first bass line that I actually transcribed, and when I transcribed it wrong, and I met Andy and he taught me the correct way to play it. So it's on the CD called Mondongo Cafe, and it's the first track called Obsesion, and he plays a great bass line, and I'll just demonstrate now very slowly, and then you'll listen to the original, and then I'll play it again a little bit quicker. Here it is a little bit faster and with a couple of embellishments that Andy does later on in the song, or when he does it live. So the next bass line I want to talk about is one that Andy Gonzalez plays on Let's Call This. And it's from the album Earth Dance is on, and also Fire Dance. And it's in 6/8. So I'll play it slowly and you'll hear the original, and I'll play it again a little bit faster. So this next bass line is a bass line that Andy Gonzalez played on the recording Mondongo Cafe called Los Pingaleros. And it's one that he actually got from Robbie Rodriguez playing with Tito Puente called MAMBO. And he just changes a couple of notes here and there, but it's almost identical. Just a couple, maybe change a third here, like not playing the pickup on the, it's really, he does just a couple subtle changes that are there that you could listen to. This next bass line is a bass line played by Cachao with Perochin on a song called Redencion. And it's one of my favorites as well. It's something that I heard, I was like, I gotta learn that one. And it's something that I use constantly. Whenever I hear those chord changes, I'll play this bass line or something similar. I'll use it to shape certain things. And the same thing, there's a lot of harmonics in it, so it fits really nice on the bass. So this next bass line is also played by Cachao. It's his composition, and it's called Descarga Cubana. It's one of my favorites as well. Like all these are like my favorites to play, and they're so fun to experiment with, to kind of come up with your own ideas, using these things as a kind of a jumping point. So here's that one slowly. Next one is played by Andy Gonzalez with Manuel Kendo y Libre. And it's a bass line that he came up with over the song that jazz standard Little Sunflower by Freddie Hubbard. So this next one that I'm gonna go over is played by Cachao with Perochin on a song called Gozar. And you can find many versions of this. Cachao used to play it all the time. next bass line I'm going to talk about is the foundation for a song called Gandinga, Mondongo, Sandunga. And it's composed by the great Frank Emilio Flynn. And he's one of the greatest pianists. And he had a group called Los Amigos, and they played the song. And it goes like this. It's very rhythmic, so pay attention to the way I wrote it, and you'll see. Next bass line is a bass line on the Ray Barretto album called Acid. And it's one of my favorites because they keep this bass line almost the whole time and it's swinging. They take solos. It's very jazz oriented, Latin jazz in a way, but also has a little bit of a tinge of like kind of funk a little bit. So here's the song. Here's the bass line. It's played by Bobby Rodriguez. So this next one is actually it's a song called Vieques, written by Andy Gonzalez, and it's based around his bass line, and it's something that, as you see, is very similar to some of the other bass lines, using harmonics, almost similar keys as well. But yeah, here it is. This next bass line is played by Bobby Rodriguez and on a song called Mi MAMBO CONGA, and it's on an Eddie Palmieri album called MOZAMBIQUE. A great album to check out, but this bass line always stood out to me. When I played it, it's actually over a rhythm that they called MOZAMBIQUE. And when he plays it, it kind of brings the rhythm section to another level of swing. This next song that I want to talk about is a bass line that's on Si Como Candela, played by Chapotin. It's just another bass line that when I heard it, I was like, wow, I gotta transcribe it. Absolutely amazing. It's a little tricky because if you're listening to it by itself, there's a note that kind of you don't hear, so that's why I'm gonna play it very slowly. It's the octave down C. If you listen to it originally, like you probably won't hear that because the recordings weren't as clear all the time. So here goes that.